This is Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost, and we are going live. And I do believe everything is all set up. So today, I was doing complimentary tutor training sessions for how to rewire your brain. I always like to share why we want to know how to rewire our brain. Our brain is like a computer or a smart device. And ever so often we do updates and upgrades, right? So that we keep the most optimum processing going on. If we don't, they get glitchy and then it gets frustrating, right? The computer is slow, the phone drops calls, or just things like that. It gets frustrating. And so you do an upgrade or an update so that you can stay at optimum. Well, our brain is our tool for navigating through life. And as life goes on, things happen, programs get instilled. And sometimes those programs, instead of helping us, they're glitching. And then we just tolerate them. They're there. And we're just like, well, that's the way life is. But that's only because no one showed us that we can actually renew those, update them, upgrade them. So I was 48 years old when I found this out. And I was like, what? Literally, knowing how to rewire your brain will literally take the chaos out of emotional turmoil in your life. The brain is habitual. So when that cycle gets going, it becomes the norm. It becomes a habitual norm for the brain to be anxious, to be triggered, to be sad. And all it needs is some guidance. It needs an upgrade. It needs to be renewed so that it can just clear it out. It's not broken. Don't need to throw it away. We don't need to throw our brain away. We just have to actually pay attention to the fact that it's glitching and not ignore it or tolerate it. The number one reason we tolerate is because we're too busy, too stressed. You know, someone, they're running, and you're like, well, just take a breather. You'll feel better if you rest and eat. No, I don't have time. That's the number one reason. Number two is we have limited beliefs when it comes to money. We allow money to stop us from doing things, accomplishing things, seeing things that we can do, because money has become a limited belief that if you don't have it, that means there are things you cannot do. Okay, so those two things cause a lot of tolerating. So what I've done is I created a program that helps to take those two top things out. One, the time and the busy. I designed follow along or guided session videos that help you to renew your mind using the 3-step thought process. It's a brain rewire. They can be 10 minutes, 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Not a lot of time. Number two, I offer all of my guided sessions on my website for anyone. There is no charge to use them. My website is all based on donations from others. And so therefore, the DIY guided sessions are on there for anyone to use. So those two things or those two factors are no longer on the plate to prevent individuals from renewing their mind. Now, when you are in an agitated state or when you're in a cycle of emotional roller coasters or a lot of bad things happening or feeling overwhelmed, the brain will say it is too busy to take care of it. Okay, and understand that that's just the brain thinking, hey, not one more thing, can't take one more thing. But just like when we need to stop and eat and sleep, it helps to renew us so that we can continue on doing the things we need to. If you take the time to renew your brain, you will do this. Now, what I designed is literally in 7 days, you can take whatever major stressor you have, whatever anxiety trigger you have. If you sit down for 10 to 30 minutes each day in those 7 days, and it doesn't have to be in succession, it could be 7 days on Monday, 7 days somewhere in the month, or it could be on Monday and then a Friday. Just you're going to end up with 7 days total, and you're going to use the videos. They're going to help renew your mind. They're going to do a brain rewire so that your brain is seeing the stressor differently. Now, sometimes the stressor, when you see it differently, actually disappears. Sometimes the stressor is still there, but your brain does not foresee it as an overwhelming issue. It'll now see it as manageable. And so when you do brain rewiring, that's what you're helping your brain to do. You're helping it to accept, feel, and release so that everything stays manageable. When we start having anxiety triggers and we're starting to get very, very down, unmotivated, okay, that is the brain doing a little glitch. It just needs an update. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. When you see that happening to you in 7 days, you're going to have that trigger stop reoccurring. So this is not about a temporary fix. These videos are designed to help release the emotion from the trigger. Now, I have plenty of videos that talk about the technique that I share, the 3-step thought process, why it works and how it works. They are also on the website, so you're able to see that information, but that's not what I'm going to spend most of my time talking today. I'm talking about the importance of understanding that your brain needs you. It only produces what you put into it. So unknowingly, we have allowed certain patterns to go in and certain things that happen that cause us to have these chronic issues going on. When we know that this is what's going on, we can take steps. Just like if you're sick with a stomach ache, you might take something for it to calm it down, or a headache. This is the same thing. When your brain is doing roller coaster emotions, you can do something about it. Now, when it has become a habitual, the brain sees it as norm, a normal way of doing things. And so the brain doesn't think there's anything I can do about it because this is the norm. This is the way it is. You can choose a different norm. That is what's great about your brain. It will do whatever you decide. So if you decide, hey, I don't like this norm, I'm going to renew my brain, recharge it, update it, upgrade it, it will do it for you. And what I've provided is a tool for you to do that. So a lot of times you'll hear about people saying, to rewire your brain, or they'll talk about doing things of how to think. Cognitive behavior therapy is really great for identifying limited beliefs. You have mindfulness, gratitudes, affirmations, a lot of things people know, okay? And these are things you do consciously. The technique I'm talking about now is the only conscious thing you do is to say, I'm going to do the technique. Once you start the technique is actually working with your automatic subconscious. And that is where your behaviors are coming from, your patterns. Okay, they're in there. And you're going to get them to start firing differently in ways that are going to help you, not in ways that are keep you down, keep you low, keep you in a cycle of bad things going on. And you seem to be getting all of it. People tell me that seems like, and I say, well, this is what happens. When that happens, the brain will think, see, and hear only the things that will cause more chaos because it goes with the highest vibe. That is what your brain is designed to do. So if you're saying, hey, I'm a great, smart person and I make lots of money all the time, it's no big deal. That is what your brain will help you to see all the time, just ways that you can make money very easily. If you say I'm not a smart person and life is just so hard, it is hard for me to keep a job, it will have you think and see things, only the things that will make it so that it stays that it's hard for you to keep a job or have a job or see that there's jobs out there for you. Once you know this about your brain, then you know how to work with your brain. That's why you'll know the importance of getting out of a low vibe cycle. Okay. Now, low vibes, they are there for a purpose. They help you to maintain the high vibe because they will alert you, hey, you need to pay attention and you need to take action. Now, when you don't do that, the lower vibes start to become unuseful. They start to hang out and they bring you lower and lower and lower. Okay. They're not supposed to do that because they're supposed to just sound the alarm. It's kind of like when you have an alarm that goes off and says that there's a fire in your house, a smoke alarm. It's just meant to alarm you to get up and take action. Okay. It's not supposed to be in your house 24/7 all the time. It's not useful anymore. It is unproductive. It will disturb the household and then it's no longer doing its job. And that's what happens with lower vibe emotions when they are not used usefully. If they're used to demotivate, to start making you fearful, yeah, that is not a great way. But they're used to sound the alarm. Hey, something happened. Something's going on. I need to pay attention and then take action. When you do that, the low vibe, it recedes. It automatically will do that because the brain will then move to the healing process or the action process or being able to figure out. So it's a cycle. So this skill that I'm teaching is a basic skill that everyone should know. They should have known from childhood. I didn't learn it until I was 48. Why? Because the ones who taught me about skills in life taught me to read, write, but no one knew to say, hey, there's this that you can teach you, we can teach you and you know about. So I actually hope that this information that I'm always putting out will parents as they're doing it and for themselves, that then their children will see their parents. And then that'll become the routine, not getting overwhelmed, anxiety, headaches, chronic headaches, migraines. When young kids at 6 and 7 are getting migraines, they're learning how to react to the stressors in the world. That is one of the biggest causes of headaches is stress. So they're learning to react and produce the same symptoms. There's so much information to know about the brain and what it can and can't do and what will and can do for you. So when it comes to your brain, if you'll learn how it processes, which is to produce what you tell it, okay, you'll learn the certain things that you've been telling it. That's why you're stuck. You're thinking you're trying to help it by scaring it, keeping overly, what I call it, concerned about things, protecting oneself. That keeps you in fight and flight mode. And when you're in fight and flight mode, the brain is unable to create. It's unable to see solutions. It's unable to be joyful. So that is what I do at DIYmentalboost.com. If you want to go there, DIYmentalboost.com. And you can, if you want me to stay in touch with you, make a free account because then I'll send you emails once a week and you'll hear from me, giving you great tidbits. But you don't need to. Just use the information on there. Take whatever stressor you have. Stressor today, you want it to be gone, not keep reoccurring week after week. Got a thing going on at your job and it's one of the things that you hate about going to your job about. Take that issue. Use the 7-day program that is set up there for you to watch one video a day. And you'll notice in 7 days how you feel about it today. Next week, it'll be different. You'll actually notice a difference from the first time you actually do a session because each session is designed to do that. So should I tell you a little bit about the session? So you're kind of like, well, what is the session? What is she doing? What are these DIY guided sessions? Should I tell you what they are? Okay, let me tell you. All they are is videos that I designed based on the 3-step thought process that Robert Jean Smith teaches on how to rewire your brain, how to detach an emotion from a situation, a lingering emotion that is no longer useful, it's being impeding. Okay, so I took that 3 steps and I started to make guided session videos. So basically in the video, it's going to ask you questions. That's the focus, step 1. Step 2, after you've answered the questions, I will distract you and re-engage you in some type of a task that you'll do. About, I don't know, 60 seconds. Followed up by a happy thought. You're going to bring in a good emotion, a visualization. You do that 60, 90 seconds. Okay. Then you'll go back to the question, back to the task, back to a visualization, question. Those 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, you'll notice with each round, the emotion will start to not have such a grip. It'll start to loosen and loosen each time. Isn't that awesome? So the videos can be repeated till you get to the level of calmness that you want. My suggestion is get it all to a 0, 1, neutral. Then you bring in a good emotion where you're getting something from whatever has occurred or learning how to see it differently. And all of the videos help you to do that. So does that make sense? Does that sound easy? I made it as easy as I could because I didn't have these when I did it. And I thought, what would I have liked? This is what I would have liked. So all you got to do is decide consciously, I want a different norm. And when you do, you can try using the guided DIY, the DIY guided session. Okay, so you just be watching a video. It's like, on TikTok or whatever. The only difference is it's going to be really productive. It's going to be a brain rewire. It's going to ask you questions. Well, do you want to know what kind of questions? It's like, what's the problem? What's the worst thing about this problem? How could it get worse? When's the first time you've had to deal with this kind of emotion with this? Does it have a sensation feeling? Does it have pictures in your? Those are the kind of questions it asks because it's gathering the information for you. And then the steps that start to unlink it 2 and 3. Now, there's a more explanation of that on my website. So look at it. It's there. But I like to put it out there to help people to see. Now, again, if you enjoy what it is that I'm putting out, even if you don't use it, but you decide, hey, this is a really good thing, I do accept donations because this is how I have built this website. I've invested all my own money, doing all my own advertising. So if there's someone who just appreciates what I'm doing and wish to donate, feel free. And if you actually use my sessions and you say, hey, yeah, I can donate, then please do. But it's not required for those who use my videos. It's there because every person should know how to do this, has the right to know how to do this if they want. It is the ultimate game changer. If you haven't already realized that. I know for me, knowing how to do this, it was a game changer for everything of what I've decided to do in my life since I've learned it. The doors have opened beyond comprehension because there's so many things that hold us back and we don't even know it. We're making decisions and we don't realize how many doors we've just closed by making that decision. So now that all the doors are going to be open and you can just choose and pick, go through them, experience them, and know how to keep things clean. So no glitchiness as you're going through the process, opening a business, I don't know, being a social media influencer, whatever it is that you want to do. You'll be able to do that without the emotions coming in and impeding the process. The emotions that are meant for you to pay attention and say, hey, do something different here or do something different here. We don't use it that way. We use it to shut down. We don't use lower vibe emotions that way. It's the least productive way. We use them to pay attention. Oh, we do something differently now. We don't use it to shut down or to say, oh, I'm not going to go down that path again. Ooh, yeah, not going to ever marry again. Oh, I'm never going to get that kind of job again. Oh, I'm never going to give anyone that kind of help again because this is, okay, that's using lower vibe emotions in an unproductive way. So I hope this has been really useful for you. I hope that you've appreciated what it is that I am chit-chatting about. You can give me some thumbs up to let me know. I did open this up, FYI. I put this out here for anyone to join me. And I should have actually said it in the beginning because I'm actually in a Zoom room. And then the ones who come into the Zoom room, I can give more step by step guidance one-on-one. I had to think about how to say that. So anyhow, I am here for right now. I wonder how long I'm going to stay. Let me look at the time. See, I've been on like 25 minutes. So I guess I could just hang out here and see if anyone decides they want to show up in my Zoom room. Let me see. I wonder if I could put my Zoom room in the notes. I think there's something like that. I've never actually used it on here. I'm going to use a new chat feature. Oh, let's see. Let's see. I need this. I think this is my Zoom code. I think this says it in the YouTube, but it doesn't do it in the, and let me see what the password is. Hold on, hold on. I think it's my name, all in caps. I'm going to be here a few more minutes. So if somebody wants to pop in, then I can let them in and give them some information. You don't have to keep your camera on. You can come in with your camera off. Yeah, I'm just going to hang out and see if someone wishes to join me, has any questions for me. That is what I'm going to do. In the meantime, I wonder if I can play something of my videos. That would be helpful. Oh, I could do that. And then if anyone comes in my Zoom room, I can talk to them. Yes, yes. Oh, I guess if it doesn't post to, let me see. Let me see if I get into my Facebook and put my stuff in case somebody wants to come in with me. Let me see. I'm in my Facebook. I see something that says live or anything like that because it'll tell you if you're live somewhere, right? And then I'm going to play some of my videos that will be useful information while I'm waiting to see if anyone will enter. Usually let's say something. Someone's live. Oh, my sister sent me a message. I'll answer that when I'm here. But let's see here. I'm going to, oh, I want to find it. Really want to, I want to find my, maybe I'm looking hard. Maybe I need to be here. And then maybe I need to click here and then I'll go to it. No, it took me. Oh, it says I'm live now. Here it is. Okay, great. I found it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ID and my password. If anybody wants to join me in my Zoom room, they can ask me one-on-one questions or get guidance. And you don't have to turn on your camera. So this is my Zoom meeting ID. Oh, so cool. And then I'm going to put my Zoom password, which is all caps, Renee. That worked out great. Okay, so I'm in. Right, I did that there. Now I'm going to go ahead and find informative videos to showing. And then of course, if anybody wants to come into my Zoom and actually talk to me, I'll be here for that. Oh, that was so nice. I got it figured out. Got it figured out. Okay, let me get to, uh-oh, I lost the Zoom. Where is it? There's my Zoom. And let me get a video to play and share it. And then I'll just hang out. See if anyone comes up and wishes to conversate with me. Let's see here. So we're going to do more of a conversational video that I've done. If I do the ones with music, they kind of ding me on those. So let's try this one here. This is a good one. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go over to my Zoom. I'm about to share with you guys right now. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share sound, optimize for video clip. Share. We're sharing. So you should be seeing my screen. There we go. And we're going to see this video here.
Hey guys, real quick, let me give you a tip on Udemy. It's an amazing place where you can learn just about anything from the comfort of your...
Here we go.
What you think is what you will feel and what you do. Do you believe that? That's really very true. If you think that you're hopeless, you're going to feel hopeless. And then what are you going to do? You're going to do hopeless things. A lot of times people, when they're sad, what do? They sit down and watch sad movies. And they listen to sad music. And they get all wrapped up in it. That is the least productive thing to help your brain get out of that. It will help your brain stay in it. It could be for hours. It could be for days. It could be for weeks. It could be for years, depending on how you have trained it to respond to that. But here at DIY Mental Boost, what we do is we learn how to assign good vibes to unwanted circumstances. So when unwanted circumstances come along, our brain, it stays motivated because life is still going. Our kids still need us. Our husband still wants to love us. Our coworkers still want to hang out with us. But if we're in a low vibe emotion, we're going to start separating. We're going to start thinking, doing, and saying things that cause the people to not want to be around us because we are creating that distance. We're doing a social distance of the mind. So if you wish to use your mind to help you wrap its mind around anything and change the mental software program of distancing yourself and staying in a low vibe, but instead when something unwanted happens, you can choose to assume the best that's going to come from it. You can make something good from it, or you can keep the big picture. It's a choice. And when you help to train your brain to do that, it will do it. Your brain is full of software programs. Right now, if you get sad, depressed, irritated, that is a software program that is running. Now, you want to utilize your subconscious in the best way, and that is to have the best programs in it that are going to help you to be productive. So when circumstances come along, your brain keeps you motivated. That is what we're here about, DIY Mental Boost. We're about staying motivated despite anything. Because when you do that, when you stay motivated, you will actually be able to create more good things. When you get into a low vibe, you will actually start creating more low vibe situations. You literally will not be able to see answers. You will literally not be able to see solutions. You will literally only be drawing in not good things, but literally drawing in more bad things. It's like an invisible string that you're drawing in, and it's because of what you're putting out. Okay, this is really true. So if you want to change that vibe in you, All you got to do is start watching some mind cardio videos. It doesn't take very long at all to get that brain to start switching. The mind cardio videos are a three-step proven three-step thought process that it will take your brain through. And if you just start doing that, remember the brain is habitual. So that basically means that it's going to start becoming a software program and you'll get better at it. So just remember what you think, okay? If you're thinking something hard, if you're thinking something's difficult, stop saying that to yourself, because your brain says, oh, she wants it to be difficult. And it will make it even more difficult just to help you feel more difficult. Thinks it's doing a great job for you. But it is actually hurting you and it doesn't know it. And it's really not hurting you. It's actually, we are hurting ourselves because we don't go in and we change the program. Okay? So the brain is just a tool. It's not putting it in there. It didn't come up with it and say, oh, this is the way I want to feel about it, and I'm going to give that to her. It only took in what you gave it. It can only produce what you give it, what you allow. Okay? So even if you have something that comes up and you're like, ooh, I don't want that reaction. Or even if it was in the past, you could change it with the three-step thought process. Or something in the future. You're scared of something in the future. You can make your brain or help your brain, guide your brain to wrap around it. So if that sounds good to you, then you know what you have to do. Click and select any mind cardio video. If you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes, your brain will get you where you want. It will do it for you. This is Renee Thomas.
Still looking for a freelancer? We're still the leading marketplace for top talent. Find yours here.
Here we go.
Hey, my name is Taylor
Continuing.
Lauren. I am a social media and content marketing strategist and a new course creator. So my online
Now we shall continue. We've
Hey,
got
Thomas,
4 more videos.
with DIY Mental Boost. And I hope all my little videos are really helping you to see the importance of what I'm saying about the brain and its ability to wrap its mind around any situation. That if you are feeling bad, that it's just a software program that can be updated so that instead of you assigning it a low vibe emotion, you assign it a high vibe emotion of maybe enlightenment, courage, hope, okay, resilience. Okay, so instead of it being something that stepped on you, made you feel like nothing, and then you had to struggle your way up, because that's actually a software program too. Going down low and fighting your way up, that's a software program. If you have that, that's a program you may want to change. Maybe you don't want to get knocked down. Maybe you just want to be able to stay high up. Sometimes our brain is used to that. That is the norm. And we feel that's just the way it is. But I'm here to tell you, if you do not want that, you can actually change it. Every single person can. This is not a fortunate people. Some people can do it and some fortunate people, no. This is something that everyone can do to a certain degree that will be beneficial for them. And how far you want to go to help your brain and tell it what it wants to do is really up to you. For me, man, as soon as I dip beyond, I'm always at a 9, 10. I dip below a 9. I'm like, what? Why are we below a 9? Why aren't we exuberantly thinking life and everything is going my way? Because that's how I usually look at things. And then I look and I'm like, oh, that's going on. And I take care of it and I listen to it. And then I say, okay, well, that's not true, because let's take care of it. So you can do the same, but you can choose. You can also choose how you want to use this tool in your life. But what I do is I help you to see how you can use it. Because when I say you can use it in anything, sometimes that's very hard to understand because your brain can't make the connections. But I can. And so I make all these different videos showing how you can make the connection.
Okay, I hope that you liked that. That talked a lot about understanding what you think is what you will feel. And that is one of the videos that I have on my course. So it's one that you can always relook at and see what that is about. Okay. All of the videos are designed to either be informational or to be guided DIY sessions so that you can start to make changes. And you can make changes so fast. If you're listening to this now and you started this week, next week you will feel completely different about whatever it is that was worrying you. If you don't, and you just liked my information, you're going to get something from it. You may feel something. If you don't take action, the emotions that you have will stay the same next week. You can actually change them by next week. Yeah. So if you wait until next month, well, then you won't change them until next month. But you can get started now, very easily now. Take a few minutes and do some of the videos. So it's at DIYmentalboost.com. That is where all the information is at. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the big course that I have on there. I've been talking to you about the 1-page 7-day that you can, change your stressor. I want to talk to you about the 4-level course that I have. Now, the 4-level course that I have is basically designed to help your brain to turn it into an automatic program, not something that you have to manually do to get it to release, but that your brain just learns it as. And it also will help to transform anything that has ever happened to you. And it allows you to basically address your entire life. Now, that might seem daunting, like, ooh, daunting, but you're actually dealing with your entire life all the time because it's what's maybe impeding you or holding you back. And that's daunting, right? That's daunting. So if you actually just literally 1 video a week, that is 30 to 45 minutes a week. Sit down and do 1 video. Just effortlessly, just like if you're watching your favorite program, like put it on as a favorite program to do. In about a year, you'll be done with all the videos and your brain will have done massive brain rewiring effortlessly. And you'll be thinking, seeing, and doing things differently in the way that you want. And that is amazing if you're able to do that. So if you're a go-getter, okay, you might do 2 or 3 videos a week and you'll be done in about 6 months. And if you are, I want a fast change, I want it now, because I've got things I'm working on and these things are impeding me and I'm ready for a change, okay, then you'll do a daily video and you could probably get this program done in like 3 months and see major changes in how you're viewing, seeing things. So in the beginning, when you're doing the videos, understand what you see are happening in your life. Your brain believes 1000% because that is what it is used to. Okay. When I was little, I said I was going to always eat chicken strips and never any other meal when I got older. I 100% believed that I loved chicken strips so much that I would do that. And I couldn't see anything else. So that's kind of what happens when we're in our feelings, what we are. Okay, because we're just not knowing. If you just be open to the fact that maybe things could be different. Maybe I don't have to think that way that I'm thinking. Maybe there is another way to see it. Because when you're in a low vibe mode, you can't see anything. Have you ever been around someone? You can kind of see an answer easily, but they can't see it. Well, that's the same thing that's happened to you. Same thing that happens to me when I'm in a low vibe. I just don't see it. And it's easy. And so when I tell someone that this is easy, they're like, I'm like, yes, it is. It's easier than you think. This is when you were learning how to tie a shoelace. It was like, ooh, little kid. But then now shoelace is no big deal. So your brain will see the same thing. But remember, anything that is new, it takes time to start to practice and learn it. For some reason, people have gotten into the mode of, or the pattern of seeing new things as saying, I'm dumb, I'm not smart, I'm embarrassed. That's how they're using the fact that you need to, in order to grow, you have to know things you don't know to grow. That's how we grow. And we're learning things we don't know. It's not a big deal. So same thing with this. Step by step, watch 1 video a week. And I promise you, you'll start seeing changes right away. And then what's going to happen is you're going to see emotional changes. And then you're going to start seeing your reality change the reality, because what you feel is what you will create tomorrow and next week. So if you're feeling low, you're going to create low vibe situations and things. Because remember, your brain is only going to be looking for, seeing, thinking, and hearing the low vibe things from everyone, whoever they talk to. You're going to even seek out your best friends that are going to be the same, just like you. You all get to stay. You'll even join little groups on here, so you all get to stay in the same. Okay, you need to fan out, fan out. And you're going to want to start shifting that brain to be on the higher vibe so that you'll create higher vibes next week. If you stay low, same people, same thoughts, same concept. That's why you'll get a job that you can't stand and you'll stay in it for 20 years. Whoa, what's that? Your brain doesn't help you to get out of that. Find something else. See, you can do something else. It just says this is all you get. You get to be miserable in a job. You need to stay here. And then you just feel life doesn't give anything good for you. Okay? So you have to break the cycle. Break the cycle. Do you want to break the cycle? Yay! And every time you do a session on yourself, you gotta learn to give yourself kudos, because your brain needs encouragement, just like you love encouragement. So your brain, it's all like, ooh, was that good that I did that? You're like, yes. But if you sit there and say, oh, you didn't do a good enough job. Oh, the brain's all like, didn't do a good job. I don't think I want to do that anymore. You lost motivation. The brain is so amazing. So you're going to learn all this stuff. When you do my 4-level course, I just teach you all the stuff about the brain and all the things that we're doing that actually is not helping. We think it's helping. It's not helping. I tell people all the time, you can't use fear, can't use guilt, you can't use low vibe to motivate. You'll get only temporary results and a lot of frustration. When you use low vibe emotions to motivate yourself or others, you gotta use the high vibe. You can do this. I know you can. The reason why I know you can is your brain is exactly the same as mine and everyone else's. And the only difference is the patterns that we may have in there. So it works the same, but the patterns, the mechanics of how everything works is the same, but the patterns determines what it produces, the feelings. Okay? Okay. So I'm glad you're here. It has actually been 48 minutes. I think I hung out long enough. No one has shown up in my Zoom. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and just play one more little video for you. And then that'll fill out my whole hour that I wanted to dedicate to my live stream today. So let's go ahead and see if I can find that. Next video. Escape. There we are. The next video we should watch. Ooh, like I said, I can't do the ones with the music because they take my whole. Ooh. I have a conversational one that I think would be good. Oh. I have so much music on the things that I have. I really need to find one that is just me talking. If I have music, it's not what I'm needing. Oh, let's try this one. I think this one I might do. Let's see. It's 5 minutes. I think this is a good one. Get unstuck. Get unstuck. And I think I need to share it. Here you go. I'm going to share. Share screen.
Scratch using the lead gen forms app.
Here we
A
go.
trigger event is a new form response. I'm going to select the form I want to
I think
watch,
that's a commercial.
and Zapier will pull those new leads. Now I use ActiveCampaign as my CRM, but Zapier gives you a host of options. I'm going to use the action to create a contact and map the fields from my lead form to
There
my
we
new
go.
contact.
Get bad.
And just like that, any new
Here we go. That's
Are you
me.
feeling stuck? Where does stuck come from? That feeling. It sometimes can come from when we think life is too hard, and that affects our attitude, our emotions, and our body. When we're having many problems in our body or our life, we can start to feel stuck, inflexible, attached to one point of view, can't seem to move. Everything in the life and body becomes stiff, and it even blocks your creativity. So what can you do? You can do the 3-step thought process, because the 3-step thought process is not about hiding your head in the sand and saying that my life is good when it's not. What it's about is saying that my life is good even though I have this circumstance in my life, that your brain can actually still focus on good and not be completely distracted, just looking at the bad, focusing on the bad, even though there might be some good over here trying to get your attention, but you're just too focused, and that focus causes you to get deeper and deeper and deeper. So if you're stuck, if you're having many problems, take a deep breath and take the time to do a session on yourself. Use a guide sheet or use one of the follow-along videos to easily start to break that rigidity that is going on in your life. Because what happens is that you actually start thinking, doing, and saying things to keep creating the same type of vibes, situations, and emotions in your life. Your brain will actually only see the ones who are going to keep those things alive in your life, and that's who you'll interact with, that's who you'll be around, that's who you'll talk to, that's what you'll watch, that's what you'll listen to. You'll just be getting that same vibe. So if you want to change that, just calm the brain down, use the 3-step thought process, because it's going to help to rewire that thought pattern, and then the brain will start to look and say, "Ooh, that person, oh yeah, that person's really bringing in that stuff. So I got to make sure that my interaction, how I do it, I change it, so I have a different dance for them." Or this situation at my job, or this situation with my health, or this situation with my children, instead of getting focused and thinking low vibe about it, your brain will start to just accept. That's the one thing the brain does best with, is to accept. We say, "I can't believe this is happening. Why is this happening?" All of that causes more. As soon as you just accept, okay, this is what's happening in my life right now, the brain will say, okay, this is what's happening. And then it'll start to look for solutions, look for answers, keep the big picture in mind. It'll start sending you, you can do it. Okay, we're going to get through this. What's the next? This is what we're going to do. It'll give you motivating messages instead of, oh no, go hide under a rock. This is too much. And just get emotional and start having physical symptoms and illnesses and all kinds of things in the body. Okay? So remember, your brain is a very powerful tool. Make sure you're using it in a powerful way. It can create things. The misery you have, it created for you based on what was input. Not saying that we knowingly put things like that in, but when things happen, no one taught us to say, hey, let's guide the brain to calm down about it so that it can still continue to create motivating messages for us. Instead, we just go all crazy and the brain is randomly trying to help us. But now you know you can actually, when things are going on, you can literally guide your brain to release it so that it doesn't turn into chaos or repeated chaos in your life. Okay? And it's only because we weren't taught it. Parents did the best we could. Education system did the best they could. This is just something that society does not teach. It's not like basic reading and writing skills that if someone doesn't get that, we're like, oh, that's horrible. How could you not teach someone that? Well, this is one of those things that should have always been taught, but it's not. But it's okay, because it's out there for you to learn. Anyone learn any age. Doesn't make a difference if you're 90. You can actually use this to benefit and enhance your life. This is Renee with DIY Mental Boost. Go to DIYmentalboost.com.
That was a good one. I liked it. I hope that you liked it too. The information in there was very insightful. One of the ones I really like that one video. So let me get back to where I can see myself. I lose the little Zoom screen. Like right now, I've lost me. So I don't know where I'm at. Come on, where am I? I'm gonna just hit the stop share. There, that helped me to do see myself. Anyway, this is Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost, and we are about to sign off. I'm actually gonna be on again at 4. And if anybody wants to join, the information is, maybe I should say the information. So it's gonna be 4 Mountain Standard Time, 3 p.m. for Pacific, 5 p.m. for Central. Eastern is 6, and I think the UK is like 11. So let me see if I can get the codes here. I can say them. Maybe. Even though I did put them in the comments. But I'm going to say them. Oh, they're in the comments. They're in the comments, right? They're in the comments. Ciao. Signing off.